2024 was so significant. That's when Trump got elected by tilting over to the cryptos. And what we found out is cryptos got trumped. And the key question is, what's next? Maybe it's the stock market. But the fact is, gold and precious metals and silver rallied so far, so fast. That's never happened with stock market volatility so low. So I think what's happening now is we're turning into a year that's going to end up like 2008. It's great for traders. I used to be one, and it's just getting started. So it's only February. How far it goes from here? I think Bitcoin's reaching good support around 64,000. It could bounce, but I think eventually the whole thing's going to continue lower. And the bottom line is, I think when we look back from the future at this year, we're all going to say, yeah, I wish I'd been in treasuries. And treasuries, like just a few weeks ago, that long bond was almost 5%.
Yeah, you've been bearish on Bitcoin for a long time now, Mike, so that's not new. I guess what's different this time is just the momentum. It's persistently to the downside for Bitcoin. Bloomberg News writes a story about how Bitcoin's dropped below 70,000 and now below 68,000 is coming as forced deleveraging accelerates. What does that look like? Can you just walk us through that?
Scarlett, I love how people dig into the weeds. I look at the macro, and there was one Bitcoin in 2009. Now there's 28 million. The problem is there's things like Shiba Inu still worth $3 billion. And then there's Dogecoin still worth $15 billion. There are numbers on the screen that track nothing. I think from the future, we're going to look back at this is the tulip purge. We need to purge all this stuff and get to a base. But you can only do that when you get the stock market at 2 to 2.3 times GDP. To me, that's what's happening. We're reverting all that. And the bottom line is, look at it somewhat politically. I think the Trump administration might realize, yeah, if we run it hot, that means inflation and we're not going to get elected. If we get a little bit of correction in beta, maybe the stock market drops 10%, everything will work out. We'll get deflation, the Fed will ease, interest rates will drop, yields will drop, and energy will drop. So the key thing that's also happened this year is we've never had gold and silver rally at this velocity with stock market volatility this low, and they are too expensive. I think what's happening now is they told us the stock market volatility is just going to revert a bit. And just to end with this, 180-day volatility on the S&P 500, it's still near an 8-year low. It's got to go higher.
Silver. Boy, it was 121 just a cup of coffee ago, as Tom Keene would say. Yeah. We're now at 74 and change, down 15% today. Is silver typically less speculative than, say, gold?
Oh, no. See, it's called the devil's metal for a reason, but typically trades, Paul, at 2. I know you're lining me up for that quote, but it typically trades at 2 times the volatility of gold. Gosh. And it's the lesson with silver is you never buy it when you can make statements like I did last week. It was the most expensive ever versus copper and crude oil. I'll never be able to say that again the rest of my career, I don't think. And the key thing about silver is it can easily get back to 50. And it's still somewhat expensive. People point out supply and demand. There's always supply and demand. But when prices shift this exponentially, we're going to get massive supply come on, and we're going to hear a lot. The word we'll hear in silver next year is thrifting.